Hi, in this video we will see how to save a variable that we use in the command window to use it later, and then we will also see how to create a numerical array using a few ways. Alright, so we'll just start. So first one is to save a particular variable. The format is this. Okay, what we need to do is we need to type save, and then we need to prefer some file name which can be easily remembered, and then the variables whatever we want to be saved or to be entered. Okay, I will show it how. And then if you want to see them back, let's say we had a session, we close the MATLAB, right? And then when we come back, we need to use the variables again for some other purpose, right? In that case, we need to see the variables that are saved, right? So to do that, what we need to do is we need to make use of this command load followed by the name of the file. Okay, I will just give you an example for what we have seen now. Fine. First, let's say I'm going to use a variable a is equal to 5. Now I'm going to type b equal to a plus 6. Sorry, I did not type plus. Sorry, b equal to a plus 6. Right? So now we have two variables here. We can see that here in the workspace as a and b. What we are going to do now is we are going to save them. What did I say? We need to use the command save. We need to give a particular file name. Let me give us values of a hyphen and hyphen b. Okay, this is the file name I am giving here, and then followed by that, what are the variables that we want to save here? A followed by a space b. Okay, when I give the enter button, you should see here, right, a particular file will be popping up. I mean, it will be appearing here, right? So I'm giving an enter. See, now the file has been saved here as values of a and b dot mat. Okay, this is how it gets saved. The extension is dot mat. Fine. Now let me give clear so that the variables what we see here in the workspace will vanish, right? So I will give clear. Fine. Now you see the variables are no more there. Okay. If I want to get back these variables here in the workspace, what am I supposed to do? As I told previously, we need to give the command load followed by the file name. Okay, so I'm going to copy it from here. Control V. If I give enter, the variables that are saved here should be appearing again in the workspace. Let's see whether it's happening. Yeah, right. They have come back here. Fine. Yeah, this much must be sufficient as far as saving the file name is concerned. If I want to get rid of this particular file, what do I need to do? Just click, the right side of your mouse and then right button of your mouse and then give delete. It should vanish, right? Yeah, that much must be sufficient. I'm going to give CLC so that we will move on to the next thing what we are about to learn, right? Clear also I will give. Okay, so that's what it's about. Saving the file, saving the variable, and then what we are going to do next is we are going to see how we can create a numerical array using three ways. Okay, so first way is just you need to give the numbers whatever you have. The other two ways are using an option called linspace and the colon operator. We'll see how to do them now. Fine. So first way is just a equal to, we have seen this previously. Okay, I'm going to create a row vector. What am I supposed to do? I need to enter the number, the elements of the array. You can give a comma or a space to create a row vector, right? Comma 4, comma 5, comma 6. All right, close it with the bracket, give a semicolon to suppress the output. All right, so when I give enter, that is stored here. If I type again enter and press the enter button, it should show this as a row vector. This is how we manually do it. Okay, just we need to type the elements with spaces or commas or semicolon depending upon whether it is a row row vector or a column vector. Okay. Now let us create a column vector. What do I need to do? With the same elements, we'll do that. 1 and then semicolon, 4 semicolon, 5 semicolon, 6. If I give enter, I'm not giving the semicolon so that it will just show B as such. See, now this is being displayed as a column vector, right? This is the first way. What did we do? We just enter the numbers, the elements of the row vector or column vector as such, right? That's the first way. Then what was the second way? I told an option called linspace, right? I will just give CLC and then clear so that the command window looks better. All right. Now we will use the next option called linspace. Now to understand this, we can make use of this particular command called help with a space, and then you need to type whatever operator you need to learn about. Okay, colon operator, right? Let's see about this colon operator. Some description is given here. You can go through this later, because if I read out this description and explain everything, it will take so much time. Okay, you can just read it out and it's easy to understand. Fine. So directly we will see how to do it, right? Let's say D is equal to, what do we need to do is we need to type the first element, use your colon, and then the last element. Okay, so if I do that, see, it will create a row vector which starts with 2 and ends with 9, and in between the elements are incremented by 1. Okay, see, that's what it is being showed here. Okay, let's say I want to create a column vector instead of doing this. Okay, what can I do? There is another option. You need to type D, and then this apostrophe is symbol what we use. If we give, we'll just make it as a column vector. We'll see more about this later. All right, so that's how we do it. And then if I want to change the increment, what am I supposed to do? Because now see, it has incremented here each element by a value of 1, right? If I want to change the increment, what can I do? I can have one more number in between. Let's say I am giving the increment, the center number represents the increment, and then end element is, let's say, 10. Okay, not 10, let's say 20. See, 1, the increment happened by 5, so that it has become 6, and then the next one is 11, and then the increment is 5 again, 16. The next number will not be there because 16 plus 5 will be 21, which will be beyond the last number 20 which we have given here, right? So this is how it is done. This is how we use our colon operator to create a row vector or column vector. Okay, that means an array. Fine. So we are done with 2 ways. The last way, let us see. What did I say? Linspace, right? Again, I will just show help linspace. It will read out. Linspace x1, x2 generates a row vector of 100 linearly equally spaced points between x1 and x2. Okay, so if we don't give any number in between, see, here in the next option they have given an extra item called n. If you give that, it will represent how many points should be there in between x1 and x2. If you don't do that, by default it will create 100 elements which are equally spaced between x1 and x2. So I'm not going to show you the first way. I will just go through the second way alone, right? So G is the variable I'm choosing here. Linspace, I'm going to take the first number as 1, last number as 10. Okay, I'm going to divide them into 10 equally spaced numbers. Okay, see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. This is what even the colon operator does. Okay, in that case, what we would have done is 1 colon 10. This produces the same result, right? So that's how it is done. If I want to give it a different number here, that means a different number of points between x and x2. Let's see, if I give it as 15, what does it do? See, between 1 and 10 it created 15 points. See, columns 1 through 11 and then columns 12 through 15. All right, so we are done with that. We will just see what we have learned from this. First one is we have learned about how to save variables that we type in the command window for our later purpose, later use. And then we have seen how to create a numerical array using, just by entering the numbers as such. Second way is linspace, and third one is using the colon operator. All right, thank you.